Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sistering Book Club. Today I'm going to be doing a video. Today I'm going to be doing a video that may be like 10 months overdue, but I didn't have this channel at the beginning of the year. This is going to be some of my favorite books I read in 2020. And I have to say, hence this channel, I've been much more into books this year. I think I read like 20 something books last year. And this year my reading goal is 70 and I'm like ahead of schedule to meet that. So this video at the end of the year for 2021 will probably be a lot better. Nevertheless, I still wanted to share some of my more favorite books I read last year. A couple of these were on my Kindle, but we'll just kind of get into it and yeah, let's go. The first book on this list is Unorthodox by Deborah Feldman. I bought this book because I watched I forget if it was a series or a movie on Netflix, and it's about a girl who is in the sect of Hadistic Judaism and kind of what her life was like and how she kind of escaped. And I mean, this was just very enlightening and eye-opening because I obviously didn't know much about this religion or the community that they live within. And it was a very, very interesting read. And the movie or series, I forget which it was, but that was also very good too. So I recommend either one. This you kind of get more detail, obviously, than you would the show. But next I have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I'm sure a lot of people read this book last year. I love this book, and I think there's going to be more if I remember right, so I'm very excited for that. This book actually follows President Snow as he grows up, and then it gives you insights to how the Hunger Games were created and the very first Hunger Games. So this was a very, very good read. I love this book. I want to read it again. And of course, this is still kind of my favorite book that I've read in a really long time, All the Bright Places. This book starts out with two characters and they are meeting, I think it's like a bell tower in their school. They're both standing up there like contemplating jumping. And then it kind of blossoms into this weird relationship, and it's obviously a young adult novel, but like, oh my God, I love this book so much. The next book on my list, I'll do the ones that I read on my Kindle. They were Call Me Tuesday, and then the sequel is called Call Me Cockroach. They're kind of similar to The Child Called It, if you guys are familiar with that. It's a true story about a girl. I think she had 3 brothers growing up, but her mom kind of always singled her out, and she went through horrible abuse and starvation. She was locked up in rooms for like days on end, and kind of, I don't know, it's a very, very sad story, but I thought it was a really good read, so I kind of recommend reading that. Again, very enlightening. I mean, none of her brothers were abused. She was singled out, and there's a term for that, but I forget what it is. But it's just kind of crazy how like all of her relatives like kind of maybe noticed it. People at school maybe noticed it, but nobody ever really did anything to report it, or there was reports that were made and nothing really happened. So one of the other books that I read, I actually have it lent out to a friend right now, but it's Breaking Bailey. This is a different book. I know I've talked about these before on my channel. These are like the anonymous journals. So again, the one that I'm making reference to is Breaking Bailey, but I have it lent out right now to a friend. And I can't really remember what Breaking Bailey's story is. I'd have to look it up. I remember what Breaking Bailey is about. It's about a girl who goes to college, and I think she's in some kind of science program or something. Like, she's very smart as far as science goes, and she ends up being recruited by a few other students to help run a meth lab and kind of all that entails. So very, very interesting. But these books are so good. I know I've mentioned these before, and I recommend reading them. Almost always the character passes away, and so we're kind of going through the journal that they left behind, and these are based on true stories. I'm sure again they kind of tweak the journal to make it into a book, but the whole book is just diary entries, so I really like these. And the last book I read last year that I want to mention is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. This was a fun read. I saw the movie before I read the book, but I kind of forgot who Blue was, so it worked out. But this is just the story of a boy in high school who finds out he's gay, kind of gets in like a secret online relationship with a guy who has a secret identity. They call him Blue. And he knows he goes to school with him, but he doesn't know who he is. Simon actually gets outed. He gets like blackmailed by somebody who finds the emails that he writes to his secret admirer with, and this was just a really fun read. I actually last year read like I think almost every book that Becky had released because I just loved her writing style. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Again, this was some of my favorite books that I read in 2020. Stay tuned because in just a few months I will be releasing the favorite books that I read for 2021. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.